This season is called Home, and there are two reasons for that. Spiritually, God has welcomed me back home, a story that will unfold throughout this channel. But this series is also about a physical journey. After spending 11 years living alone, to living with my husband for a year, then moving back in with my mum at 36, there's been a lot of change. Now I'm home. Get comfortable as we unpack. Previously on Home.
Look at how they did the skirting boards and look at how they've tiled the roof.
The way they do it is quite strong. You know, it can withstand like heavy storm, hurricanes, stuff like that.
Well, we're not... Anytime you buy an old property, it's more likely that it will appreciate in price quicker than a new build.
Next one is lower maintenance costs.
Yeah. Everything is new. So what's there to maintain? I think sometimes people get this idea that, oh, we're getting an old build, we can easily renovate and just add extensions and stuff like that. But actually, you can't just do that off the bat.
Make sure you're caught up on the previous episode and let's dive into today's episode.
Once again, return of the watch my flow. You know that I'll be back. Here I am. Return of the man.
Isaiah 32:18. My people will dwell in a peaceful habitation, in secure dwellings, and in quiet resting places. In this video, we are sharing our experiences. We are not financial or mortgage advisors.
Hello my beauties, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary. I'm a natural hair and lifestyle content creator.
My name is Eric. I am the husband.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Home. This is the penultimate episode in this season. In episode 7, we showed you us collecting the keys and you saw all the emotions. I could finally breathe. The excitement finally came out. And yeah, it was a great day. How did you feel collecting the keys? Eric was like, I'm tired, man. That day was like, I'm tired.
What's that? It was the usual feeling, you know, excited and happy.
This episode is all about the documents we presented for our mortgage application. And if you're new here, you haven't seen any of our videos, then I'm just gonna give a quick backstory. So I'm a British citizen.
And I am a Nigerian on a spouse visa.
The documents we presented for our mortgage application might not be the documents you present based on our citizenship. So when it came to the mortgage application, I personally felt anyway that they were more focused on me as a British citizen. Not to say that Eric wasn't involved in the process and they didn't require the same amount of documentation from him as for me. But I just felt that the scrutiny was more on me in terms of, okay, if you get this mortgage, you know, how are we sure you're going to pay it back? How are we sure you're not going to default on the mortgage? You know, where did the money come from in your account? All that kind of stuff. I just felt personally that there was a lot of scrutiny on me. Like I said, it's not that they never asked Eric the same kind of questions. But when it came to liaising, when it came to presenting documents, I felt that it was heavily more on me. And I was the one that they would speak to as the first applicant on our mortgage. So our mortgage is a joint mortgage, but I'm the first applicant and Eric is the second. I don't really know what that means, but essentially I just felt as the first applicant, they were looking more at, should I say what I was bringing to the table? I feel like that's what I should say. And then they were looking at Eric as to also what he was bringing to the table, but was he also going to stay at the table? I feel like, you know, if he leaves, then what happens or anything, something like that. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but just know that I felt the pressure was more on me, basically, is what I'm saying. Another thing to quickly note also is that this house that we are currently in, the house that we bought, was actually the house we put our second offer in for. And because of that, some of the documents we're going to mention are based on who your mortgage lender is. Because we had gone through the mortgage offer process before and trying to figure out if our mortgage application would be accepted, we went through some lenders prior to the lender we landed at today. Because of that reason, there's quite a few documents we might mention that you might not be asked for, but I feel that it's important for us to share as much as we can, just in case a request does come in for you to provide the same documents. One thing that I will give you insight on is the lenders that we approached. And when I say we, I mean our mortgage broker, because we didn't personally go to approach them. Although before going to a mortgage broker, I did go online to see if we were eligible for a mortgage, just by filling in some of the standard questionnaires that specific high street lenders had. And unfortunately, because Eric is not British, they just turned me down straight away. In case you too have tried to fill in an application to check for your eligibility, it could just be that maybe if you're in a situation like us, because your partner's a foreign national, that's why they're turning you down. It doesn't have anything, in fact, to do with your credit score, how much money you make, or anything like that.
It's important for me to say here that just because you've been declined online does not mean that if a mortgage broker approaches them, they're going to decline you. Just think of it as you're filling in an application. There's already standard protocols in terms of the algorithm on who they can accept and who they can't. Imagine it's a robot that's sifting through the application. Because you have extenuating circumstances, it's not gathering all that information. So it's not going to know whether you can be accepted for a mortgage or not. I don't want you to be put off if you have been declined online. Even if you are declined by the high street lenders when a mortgage broker sets in, there's so many independent lenders and other options that could be available to you. So just don't be discouraged. We never went with a high street lender in the end, but we still got a mortgage.
So the lenders that the mortgage broker approached for us were 4: NatWest, Halifax, Lloyds, and the one we're currently with. And the reason we went through 4 is because the first house we put an offer in for, NatWest, were happy to provide us with the money for the house until they went through my credit report, and on my credit report there was an error. That was an error that I didn't know was there, and essentially it just ruined the application for us. So then we went for another lender, Halifax. Halifax were happy. During this time I was trying to rectify the error, and I had to provide proof of me trying to do that. So at the time Halifax was still happy with pushing ahead with giving us money, knowing that I had this error on my report, but it was in the process of being rectified. Obviously, well, it might not be obvious to you, but if you watch episode 2, you know what happens. We ended up pulling out of that offer. Because of that, although we had a mortgage in principle, which we could have carried on to another house, this house that we ended up buying was over 100k more than the first house we had in mind. And the mortgage in principle therefore became null and void because we had to start the whole mortgage application process again. So the third lenders we went with were Lloyds, and at the time they were happy with everything on paper. And when I say everything, I mean our documents, I mean the amount of deposit we had for the house. But then as we moved further into the application, they saw that, do you want to explain this part? Because it's to do with you.
They realized my visa is about to expire, and I was in the process of renewing my visa. So they asked for a proof, and I presented them a letter from the Home Office that my visa is on the process. So that was it.
But unfortunately, they just felt that we were too risky, and so they changed their mind in terms of how much deposit we should put down, and they wanted more money, but there was no way for us to get that more money. Because of that, we had to now find another lender. When I say we, I'm talking about our mortgage broker again. So he ended up finding us another lender, which was actually a blessing in disguise at the end, because the rates that we got with the other lender was lower than Lloyd's anyway. These things might have changed by now. This was over a year ago. We've been through this now. So yeah, that literally the first 2 lenders were in June 2023. Okay, so we're now in June 2025. It's been 2 years, but I don't think it would have changed that much. So that's just a little backstory, giving you some insight into this home buying journey and how up and down it can be. I guess it makes sense for us to inform you of which lender asked for what at the time. I think I'll let Eric go first because you guys already know I be speaking the most anyways out of the two of us. So I'll let Eric go first.
It's your channel, so I don't want to outshine you. Or
Oh, okay. Say less. Oh, scene? Is that what it is? Say no more.
I'm a visitor here, so.
Oh, say no more. Should we open a channel for you then?
That would be nice.
What are you gonna do on there?
Yeah, just chat.
We put that to one side. With NatWest, the first house, what did you present to them?
NatWest requested for proof of ID. I presented my resident permit, and they also requested for last 3 months bank statements, last 3 months pay slips, and my employment letter. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And I presented the same as well. I gave my passport, I gave my last 3 months of bank statements and my last 3 months of pay slips. I think I gave my contract. Yeah, I gave my contract at the time. Like I said, they then ran a credit check and found something on my report. So we then moved on to Halifax. And with Halifax, they wanted to see proof that I was resolving the issue. And I had spoken to the company who had reported against my name. I just showed a transcript of that. If for any reason you find something in your credit report that you never did, all you need to do is show proof that you're trying to resolve it, either through a transcript, through raising a query with TransUnion, whatever the case may be. That was fine with Halifax and accepting me. So obviously by the time it was February 2024, that thing on my credit had gone. Then it came to Lloyd's, and with Lloyd's we had to update our bank statements, update our payslips, because whenever you're going through a mortgage application, they look at the last 3 months of your bank statements and payslips. So between June 2023 and February 2024, you can see there was a big gap. So we had to update our bank statements, our payslips. Yeah, that was it. And do you want to talk about what happened with yours, sickness?
So about my own, they found out that my payslip wasn't corresponding. So there was a particular month that I was sick, so the pay wasn't adding up. So they asked me for a proof that I was sick. So I got a proof from my workplace that I was actually sick those period of days that I missed at work. So that was it.
We thought everything was going fine. And then one day our mortgage broker emailed and was like, oh, can Eric please send his passport, that the bank wants to see his passport?
Yeah, and you know what follows with that. You have to explain that you're about to renew your visa, or your visa is in a process of renewal, and they'll ask you again to bring a proof. Yeah, and I got a proof from the Home Office. I was kind of stressful, man.
Why?
Yeah, it's like
you think it's going well and then they just keep asking you for stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing we found with Lloyd's. I don't know whether it was just, it could have been anything happening at their office, but I thought the communication wasn't that great, because they were sitting with our application for weeks and then suddenly they'll come out of the blue and say, oh, we need this actually.
It was like every 2 to 3 weeks they would just come up with one thing.
Yeah.
Then they'll go silent again for another weeks and come up with another thing again. It was crazy.
Yeah. So like with Eric's sickness, immediately Eric presented his payslips. It wasn't a query as to why a certain month was lower than the rest. It took 3 weeks for them to then ask the question. And then it took another 3 weeks for them to say, actually, we want to see your passport, kind of thing. So that in itself delayed our application, but yeah, whatever. But like I said, because maybe they got scared that Eric was a foreigner.
Eric was going to disappear.
Eric was going to disappear. Lloyds then now said, yeah, give us more of a deposit and then we'll give you the mortgage. And we were just thinking, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. During this time also, I had not long started a new contract role, and it was fixed term contract. So the employment letter I had previously given was void, and I had to show that, you know, that I'm still employed but I'm now on a different contract. And because that was a fixed term contract, I was a bit worried, because I was saying, oh, you know, this house is more, I was saying it to the mortgage broker, I was saying this house is more costly, and if they see that my current pay is okay for the mortgage application, but then if I were to go back to my substantive post, you know, my pay is reduced, will they say that we're not applicable for the mortgage? And so our mortgage broker went to ask, but everything was fine. And yeah, that's all that Lloyds needed at the time.
For our current lender, because our broker has already got all my most of my documents, so I only presented a current last 3 months bank statement and 3 months pay slips. During that time, I haven't been in the country for 3 years, so I have to give my abroad address. All the countries I've been for the last 3 years, that I've lived for the last 3 years, so I have to provide all the addresses.
It's not that when they asked him about his addresses for the last 3 years, he had to present bills in the addresses overseas, because that wasn't necessary. So you don't need to worry about thinking, oh, but I don't have anything in my name in that address anymore. The only thing that they wanted to see that your name was in an address was the UK address that you were currently living in. And so in our case, we were living at my mum's house, but fortunately Eric had already changed his bank details over to my mum's address, so he could easily show a bank statement that had his name and my mum's address on it. You can easily change your address on the apps, so you'll get it in the next pay cycle or whatever it is. The next time your statement is out. Yeah. The next time your statement is out, your address will automatically have been updated, so it's not that you have to wait a long time either. So like Eric, I provided an update of my last 3 months pay slips, an update of my last 3 months bank statement. Actually, because as I mentioned, we had moved into my mum's house, we were not on the electoral register, so that had put a damper on our credit report as well. And so our mortgage broker advised that even though we're waiting to move into a new house, it only makes sense for us to still register at my mum's address. Those were all the documents that were presented. But then on my bank statements, Eric just has, you don't mind sharing how many accounts you have?
Only have one.
Yeah. So Eric just has one account.
Why do I need many accounts?
I have many accounts. I have many accounts, okay? I have a savings account and a savings account and a current account So, because of that, when they were looking through my bank statements, they were now like, this girl is paying herself in different accounts. What's going on here? So they then requested for bank statements for my savings account, and not just one, every single savings account or every single account that I was transferring money into. So just note, if you, like me, have other accounts, just present the last 3 months of all of the accounts you have, because you just save time rather than them coming back and forth. Because again, with our current lender, it's not that they also took time to request for things. It's not that they were quick. So to avoid that headache of thinking, yeah, your mortgage application is going through, that they're moving with it, only for you to then later hear that actually they need this, they need that. Just present all of the accounts you have for the last 3 months. Trust me, it will just save yourself time. Another thing I'll say is, if you've watched our videos before, you remember that I've mentioned that we had a deposit, and so the account where that money was in, of course, I had to present the statement for that. Episode 4, I mentioned that part of that deposit money was coming from an investment that I had done with my family, and so they wanted to see proof of what that investment was about. So I provided the contract for that investment, and I also provided email correspondence because I did mention with that investment it was for a particular time. Unfortunately, we went over and above that time period, and so I just needed to provide evidence that I had it in writing that, okay, you've missed the deadline, but this is what we've decided now. That was all legit, and so they were happy with the money for the deposit because they could trace back where the money came from. It wasn't money laundering or anything like that. But like I said, they had all of my bank statements, and I'll give an example. So my Monzo account, I generally use that to pay people that maybe I don't regularly pay, or just like one-offs. And so for my Monzo statement, they were seeing that every month I was paying a particular amount to different people, and they were asking, what's that about? So in case you don't know, in Yoruba we call it ahhh. What that is a community of people coming together, saving money, and each month someone in that community will collect from the pot. The best example I can give is, say you have a community of 12 people. I'm calling it a community, it's a group. Say you have a group of 12 people putting in £200 every month, and say it's running from January to December, so that's 12 months. You have a pot of 2,400. Every month, someone from that group is going to get £2,400. So how we did it with our group was that we didn't send money to just one, like we didn't have a lead. Although that's how we started, I won't even lie, to be honest, that's how we started. We had one person who would collect the money from everyone and then distribute to whoever was collecting for that month. But I think she kept closing her account, so maybe they thought, you know, some kind of fraud was going on or something. So instead of doing it that way, we ended up just giving it to each individual that was owed it for that particular month. So my month was actually coming up. My month was coming up in April. But the bank was seeing all this money. For the last 3 months, I've sent the same amount of money to 3 different people. So they were querying it, like, what is this about? What's going on? So I explained to them, you know, what ahhh is. What do you call ahhh in?
Isusu.
Isusu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So different cultures call it different things. But yeah, Isusu in Igbo and ahhh in Yoruba.
I think it's kind of African thing, African way of saving money or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably is. One thing I will say, okay, let me continue my story. So after they got their explanation, they were umming and ahhing. They said, okay, it's fine, but the stipulation was that because my month was April, and to be fair, the group I was in was actually finishing in May, the stipulation was that once this round finished, I wouldn't be participating in ahhh again, because in all honesty, lenders do not like you doing that. So I will say, if you are part of ahhh, isusu, however it is you're saving money with a group, and you know you want to buy a house, make sure that it's not reflected in your last 3 months worth of statement. So that's whether it's going to be that you finish 3 months ahead of even starting looking for a house, or whether it's when by the time you're transferring it to whichever saving account that your deposit is going to be in, you make sure that 3 months lapses before you then share that bank account statement. I don't know which way you're going to do it. All I know is that lenders don't like it. So even though it was fine for me, I've been doing it for years. This is part of how we were able to save up our deposit amount for this house. And so the last 3 months worth of bank statements is not going to show that, you know, I've collected what, 4k or 5k or whatever k, because my turn wasn't until April anyway. And I had already shared that I have the deposit ready because of the investment and the savings already in my lifetime ISA. Although I really was going to be using this agile money as a top up, but they didn't need to know that. I could just say, you know, from the savings of our employment, we will be able to put in the last 3k that we needed, kind of thing. But really and truly, it was the agile that I was using to get us over that 10%. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so their stipulation was that once this round finished, they don't want me to do it again. And it's not that they have requested my bank statements since to see whether I am following that rule or not. But I know for me, I don't want to risk it. First of all, I didn't know how much we're going to be spending on this house in terms of our regular monthly bills. So I didn't want to commit to being part of a group and not being able to pay the money anyway. I don't roll like that. Do you know what I mean? Secondly, in as much as we probably could have done it for this year, the group we're involved in is so big that it takes us over a year for us to finish paying everyone. So if it then comes to the point where it's going into the time where we now have to present our bank statements because we need to remortgage, in case we stay with the same lender, I don't want it to show that I didn't listen and that I'm actually still part of this group collecting money. So yeah, I just told the group, you know what, count me out for this year. Next year we'll see how it goes. Another thing that happened during that time was money was needed back home. So we sent a considerable amount back home, and because of that they were questioning what's going on here. Do you know what I mean? Because it was a one-off payment of a significant amount in the last 3 months. They're like, what's this? Honestly, we kind of made it hard for ourselves, I'm not gonna lie. But with that agile thing, I didn't think it was an issue until the mortgage broker now came with, what's this about? They're asking questions, When you're in that process of getting a mortgage application, in as much as possible, do not have high figures going out of your account. Do not open a new line of credit. Anything you can do to ensure your statement just looks regular, keep it like that. Don't be lending money to people. Don't be part of a group paying money every month. Don't do any of that. Don't now send huge sum because someone is sick or someone is
Buying expensive stuff.
Buying expensive stuff.
Just chill.
Just chill. Because at any point in that mortgage application process, they can ask for you to present some further statements. They can ask to see your credit report again to make sure that you haven't opened a new line of credit. They can ask whatever they like. At the end of the day, they're giving you money. So you need to show that you're a responsible person. And just because you've gone through the preliminary checks and everything was okay, and maybe the house you're buying isn't as expensive as you thought, so you have a little extra 5k here or a little extra 10k here that you can take out and spend however you just do not do it. You'll be asking for trouble. Never know when they'll come requesting for more. So yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
This is the foreign national here that, you know, had a breeze. To be fair, he didn't have a breeze. The same time we were doing this mortgage thing, he was sorting out his visa.
Was a lot of good documents.
A lot of documents at the time.
A lot of documents flying around.
Yeah.
This person would demand for this one, another. This group would demand for another one.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah, but thank God for today. Everything was successful.
Yeah. I've listed the documents throughout this video, and I'll probably leave them listed in the description box as well. Like I said, you might not be asked all these questions. You might not have a savings account. You might not be part of a savings group. You might not, do you know what I mean? You might not have all these things. So take from this what you will. But if you know you fit into any of the specifics we've mentioned, then just get your documents ready. And just know, even if you get them ready, you don't find a house in the next 3 months, you'll be sending an update of the last 3 months of your statement and your payslip. So chill. Just calm down. Don't now get a new job. All right? That's contracting or whatever. Just chill. If you know you want to buy a house, get your ducks in order and chill until you've signed on a dotted line and they've given the money to your lawyers, and you'll be good.
Just have it in mind. They will stress you. They will really stress you. You just have to have patience.
But how did you feel as a foreign? Eric doesn't like being called an immigrant, hence why I'm not calling him one. How do you feel as a foreign national going through the process?
Yeah, I feel like the what should I use? Scrutinize, you know. They like scrutinize you because you're not from here, and they think you're gonna run away or something. Yeah, but I don't blame them. Even if I'm the one giving someone that huge amount of money, man, I would demand your life.
No, your life, child. Look at this guy.
I would demand your extra life.
Extra life.
Or your spare life. Yeah, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. It was tough though, but...
Was it tough? Was it really tough?
Yeah, it was tough.
How was it tough?
Man, all the lenders, they were like dragging me up and down, give me this, give me that. Home office, at the other hand, was demanding a lot. Give me this one. The stress was too much.
And Eric doesn't like stress.
Nah.
I thought I was the one that was stressed. It was even showing on my face. All the pimples on my face. I was the one that stressed. Eric was still looking like a fine boy. So I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about, honestly. I specifically remember when it even came to his visa stuff, I was like, listen, don't involve me. This mortgage thing is more than enough. I don't want to know. I left into it. I said, I cannot support you there. This one is headache enough.
Yeah, I know what I did myself.
Yeah, you did. You're more than capable to do it yourself anyway.
Some people, they
use lawyers. Yeah, true.
Yeah, well, I did it myself.
True. Oh, do you want a video on that? We said we were going to do a video now, actually. It's been years now. It's been a long time. Mm-hmm. The rules have all changed now.
Keep making up rules every day. In case you need any more clarification, you need any more information, just let her know and I will be here.
I don't know why he keeps let her know I'll be here. Man's chilling in the background is what he's telling you. He's chilling in the background. But no, on a real, leave your comments, leave your questions. We're happy to share what we've learned. If this video is not enough, if you need more than this.
I know she's waiting for me to say it, and don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe.
Oh, bingo!
I got it right, no?
Episode 9. Episode 9. Is God not good? That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, episode 10. What are we actually going to do for episode 10? I feel like we should do a mukbang.
I don't know. Maybe your audience will let us know what we
I feel like we should go live and do a mukbang. And they can ask us whatever question they want to ask about the home buying journey.
Yeah, just let her know what you guys want, and we'll give it to you.
No, I'll give it to you. No, I'll give. You know I'll give. You know I'll give it to you. Sorry. Okay. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.
Turn up the match, my flow. You know that I'll be back.